Hello there, my name is Amanda May and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you the 12 books, series, or authors that I will read in 2021. I got the idea to do this video from A Dash of Ash. I'll link her channel down below, so definitely go check it out. She just recently did a reaction video to a previous 2020 video where she shared the 10, I think, books that she will read in 2020. And so she reacted to that video to see how many she actually got around to. I think it was 20, it might have been 20. I'll link the video down below. Anyway, the video was fun to watch. It looked like it would be fun to make a similar video, so here I am, sharing with you the 12 books, series, and authors that I will read in 2021. Now, I say that with so much confidence, but you know, hopefully I will read them in 2021. The fun of it will be in come December of 2021 to see whether or not I got around to all of them, because there's quite a stack in front of me. You'll see. So let's get into it. First up on my list doesn't have an author. Who's the author? First up on my list is Dune by Frank Herbert. As you probably know, the movie is coming out in 2021. It was originally supposed to come out in 2020, but it was pushed. And I'm kind of okay with that because I now have time to read the book beforehand. So that is my goal. I am planning on reading this book before the movie comes out. This is a major sci-fi classic, and I just recently dipped my toes into sci-fi, the space sci-fi. Although according to Daniel Green, this is a sci-fantasy series. So that actually really intrigues me, and I'm thinking it might make me like the series even more because I do really love fantasy and I'm drawn more to fantasy as opposed to sci-fi, but I still enjoy sci-fi, so best of both worlds, you know? I'm really looking forward to picking this up. Plus, look at the beautiful Barnes & Noble edition, it's so pretty. Anyway, Next up on the list will not be a surprise if you watched my January TBR video, and that would be Red Queen, The Red Queen? No, just Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I feel like this series was really popular a while ago when I wasn't really reading many books. So this is kind of me catching up with the YA community. But there are 4 books in the series. I'm not really planning on reading any of the novellas, but you know, I might. But I at least want to read the 4 books this year, and I'm going to start in January with Red Queen. Because there are so many books that I'm trying to get through, I'm not going to delve very deep into what each book is about or what each series is about. But of course, as they come up on my monthly TBRs, I will go more in depth, so stay tuned for those. The first book to the next series is also in my January TBR, so for more information, go check out that video. But that would be the Cruel Prince series, or I guess it's called The Folk of the Air Trilogy by Holly Black. I want to see what all the hype is about. So many people adore this series. Granted, some people really don't, but the people who do just rave about it. And so I want to see if I am going to join that fan base or not. So I'm going to start with The Cruel Prince in January. Stay tuned in about a month to see how I feel about this book and whether or not I'm going to be able to complete the series this year. Next up, we have an author that is highly beloved and that I picked up for the first time in 2020, and that would be V.E. Schwab. I read the Monsters of Verity duology this year and then followed that up with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which came out in October, so very recent release. And I loved all 3 of those books. I love Victoria Schwab's writing style, and the ideas that she comes up with seem so unique to her, and I just am really interested in picking up more of her books. So I am going to read the Darker Shades of Magic trilogy, as well as Vicious and Vengeful, which I don't own, so hopefully I will be able to insert a picture of the cover here. I have heard such great things about both of these series. The Vicious and Vengeful duology seems to be especially loved, and so I am really looking forward to picking these up in the upcoming year. Next up, we have the Shadow of the Fox trilogy by Julie Kagawa. I was introduced to this trilogy by Elliot Brooks, who I believe read this in 2020, and oh, the UK cover is beautiful. I love it. Anyway, I am really interested in pretty much all things Japanese culture, and this is supposed to have a decent amount of that in it, and so I'm really looking forward to picking this Japanese themed high fantasy book up in the coming year. I think it's high fantasy. I'm pretty sure it's high fantasy. Either way, as I throw it. It's okay, it wasn't damaged. Next on the list is another author that I discovered in 2020 that I would really like to pick up more of her books, and that is Naomi Novik. I read A Deadly Education in 2020 and loved it, even though I almost DNF'd it. But I'm so glad I didn't, because I really grew to love the characters and even the writing style, which was one of the reasons that I almost DNF'd it at first. But no, it grew on me. So in 2021, I am hoping to read Uprooted and Spinning Silver, as well as the second book in the Scholomance series, which this is A Deadly Education, the first book, but the second book, The Last Graduate, is coming out mid-year, I think, and I'm really excited to read that as well. So 3 books by Naomi Novik in 2021. I think my camera might have been hit at some point, so I'm sorry if the frame is just a little bit different than it was a second ago. But moving on, I should say that these aren't in a specific order. Some of them I will mention I am planning on reading in January, so they're going to be at the beginning of the year, but I didn't put these in like order to be read or anything like that. I just hope to read them all by the end of 2021. In whatever order. So the next series on the list is one that I'm very excited for, because I, until recently, only had books 2 and 3, but for Christmas, my husband got me book 1, and that would be the Nevermore trilogy by Jessica Townsend. This is a beloved middle grade series, and the 3rd book recently came out, I think just around Halloween 2020. And so I'm really excited to see what all the hype is about. It is one of the few middle grade books that I plan on reading in 2021, but I'm thinking I'm going to love it. Next up is another series that I feel like I need to read to kind of catch up with the YA fantasy community, and that is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone Quartet by Laini Taylor. Quartet? Trilogy. It's a trilogy by Laini Taylor. I read Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor in 2020, and I loved them, so I have really high hopes that I'm going to love this trilogy. Also, the 10th anniversary editions came out this year, and I love them. Anyway, really excited to be picking this up and seeing more of what Laini Taylor has written. Okay, next on the list is another author that I picked up for the first time in 2020 and have become a solid member of the fandom, except for the fact that I've only read three of his books so far. Thus, the point of this video is that I plan on making more progress in the Cosmere universe, books by Brandon Sanderson. First, I'm going to read Elantris. This is the Dragonsteel leather-bound edition, and I love it. And then I'm gonna read Warbreaker, and I don't have it yet, but I'm also going to read The Way of Kings. That's probably gonna be all I have time for in 2021, but we'll see if I can make additional progress. And honestly, of these 3 books, I am the most, not worried, but yeah, sure, worried about Elantris, because it has the most mixed reviews. It was the first book that was published in the Cosmere universe, and since this is one of the first ones, it's potentially one of the weaker installments in the Cosmere universe. I'm still kind of hopeful that I'll like it though. And I've heard nothing but good things about Warbreaker, so I'm pretty confident I'm gonna like that one. Of course, it was upside down. Also, since I like to have the prettiest versions of all of the books that I own, I got the Dragonsteel leather-bound editions of these, and I don't have like a paperback or normal hardback edition for either of these, so I will be reading the leather-bound editions, which I think will be a really cool experience, but I'm also gonna have to be really careful to keep them in very nice, pristine condition because I'm me. So that'll be fun. Next up on the list is the Witcher series. This is the, I think, Fairy Loot or Illumicrate edition. I honestly don't remember. Fairy Loot or Illumicrate. This is another series that Elliot Brooks raves about, and it also, of course, as I'm sure you know, was turned into a TV show by Netflix a year ago, 2019? Might have been in 2019, a while ago. And I really love the TV show, and I've heard the video game is also really great, so I have high hopes that I will also like the books. I think they're originally written in Swedish. I'm not 100% sure about this. I should probably look it up. But it might, honestly, this might be the first translated book that I will have ever read. I wonder if that's true. Besides maybe some classics that were translated. So as far as fantasy is concerned, I think this will be the first translated book that I'll have read. That's pretty cool. Anyway, really looking forward to reading The Witcher. All of it, not just The Last Wish. I only have The Last Wish right now, but I do plan on buying the entire series for all of these books. Next up on the list is the Poppy War Trilogy by... That's a problem. I don't know who's it by. Who's it by? R.F. Kuang. Next up on the list is the Poppy War Trilogy by R.F. Kuang. I don't own any of the books yet, so I will insert an image of the first book here. I have heard so many good things about this trilogy, well, really just the first two books since the third book just came out on BookTube this year, and it's been really hard for me waiting to read this series, but this is a rare example of a book where I actually prefer the paperback just because they're such high quality. They're very floppy, and the paperback for the third book doesn't come out until I don't know when, but probably like November of 2021. And I don't want to read the books too far in advance to where I'd forget what happens before reading the third book. Do you see my problem here? So I'm gonna try and hold off and wait to read this series until a little bit later in 2021 so that I'll still have it fresh in my mind when I'm able to pick up the third book in paperback. That's my plan. But I've heard wonderful things. I am itching to read this series and I cannot wait to pick it up. But I don't have it, like I don't own it yet so that I can't pick it up early. But I'm really looking forward to it. And the very last series on this list is Jade City, the Jade City trilogy by Fonda Lee. I have heard almost entirely good things, really good things about this series. There have been one or two reviews where the reviewer has been like, it's not for me, but I think I would like it. I'm hoping I'll like it. We'll see. In any case, I plan on reading at least the first book in 2021, hopefully the entire series, but this is another one where I'm gonna wait until a little later in 2021 to pick it up because I want the third book to be out, or at least coming out soon by the time I read books 1 and 2. And those are the 12 books, series, and authors that I will read in 2021. I am determined. It's gonna happen. I hope. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my content, please hit subscribe. You can also hit that little bell icon to get notified for whenever I post new videos. And whether or not you do those things, please go ahead, leave a comment down below telling me if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them so that I can be a little bit better prepared maybe before I actually pick them up and read them. And of course, this isn't a comprehensive list of books that I plan on reading in 2021. I just wanted to put together the major hitters, the bigger commitments, the ones that I think most of you will have heard of and either read, or maybe they're also on your radar and you want to read them. But I will definitely be picking up more than just these books in 2021. Well, I say definitely. I hope I will. I hope I will have time to read more than just these books. But yeah, that's all of them. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.